welcome to Fresh Dialogues. I'm Alison Van Diggelen, talking to you from Silicon Valley, California. Fresh Dialogues is an interview series with a green focus. Each week I interview business leaders and celebrities. So Tom, thank you very much for joining me today on Fresh Dialogues. Now you have a chapter in the book, Tom, it's entitled China for a Day, and you write in a recent column, China's leaders understand that in a world of exploding populations, demand for clean power and energy efficiency is going to soar. Beijing wants to make sure that it owns that industry and is ordering the policies to do that. Do I detect a bit of China envy there, Tom?
What you detect is the envy of someone who wants his own government to act democratically with the same effectiveness that China can do autocratically. And I think we could if we all pulled together and really focused on this project. Because this is a huge scale project. Government has to get it right, it has a huge role. And if government is not working, if it's divided against itself, red states, blue states, we're not going to get where we need to be.
And that was this year, Tom, you asked, am I a bad guy for wanting to be China for a day? In light of the resignation of Van Jones, do you feel that you're a bad guy?
No. I don't feel Van Jones is a bad guy either. So.
Absolutely. But in that environment of criticism that he bowed to.
I don't really care. I say what I say. I think there's a big audience for what I say, and I don't really pay attention to the critics.
Right. So you just turn a
just
deaf ear to.
I hear it, and it's fine. And it's a free country. You can say whatever you want, but I've got my own bully pulpit, and I use it. And I don't use it to shout back at critics. I use it to get my message out. I'm looking forward. The caravan, the dogs bark, and the caravan moves on.
Right.
I'm in the caravan.
Right, but you don't feel that detraction, the Glenn Beck and his ilk are getting stronger and are going to be energized by the Van Jones resignation.
I think people understand the stakes. They're living it every day. They know the climate's changing. And the Glenn Becks and other opponents of these ideas, they'll have their audience, and I have mine, and let the best man win. To me, that's really what it's all about. I don't spend my time dealing with my critics. I've got a great podium. If you're criticizing me, God bless you. I'm not above criticism. My focus is on my ideas with my audience.
No, I'm not intending to criticize you, but I'm just curious.
I'm telling you this with my philosophy.
Right.
So,
yes.
I think you'd have to Google a long, long time to find a column. I dare say you'd have to Google forever to find a column where I've actually addressed, sort of personally in any way, one of my critics.
Good for you.
My feeling is I'm out there, and therefore if you can't take the heat, don't be out there, number one. But why would I waste a column on one of my critics when I can write about these really interesting ideas for my audience who cares? So what I always say to the critics is, you may be writing about me. I really appreciate that. But don't think for a second, I'm going to waste a column on you.
Good for you.
I
like that.
That's my feeling. I've got this great platform in the New York Times. Why would I waste it on one of my critics? By the way, they're entitled to their criticism. I'm not in any way saying that. I'm out there on my ideas, and sometimes you even learn from critics. But you move on. Right.
And talk about moving on. If Obama were to call you up tonight after your lecture, Tom, and say, I've read your book cover to cover, I want you as my green czar, what would you say to that?
I'd say I get my aggravation playing golf.
Great. Well, Tom Friedman, thank you very much for joining me on Fresh Dialogues.
My pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Check out freshdialogues.com for interviews with Paul Krugman, Martin Sheen, Tom Friedman, and many others.